Blizzard tried asking us what we wanted from Classic. They sent out surveys, floated ideas like flying mounts in Classic, and left many of us thinking, do they even understand their own game anymore? Meanwhile, Turtle WoW has been quietly doing what Blizzard hasn't, expanding Classic in a way that respects what it was, not what retail turned it into. But this video isn't about Turtle versus Blizzard. It's about why Classic Plus matters more than ever. Not as a feature list, but as a philosophy. Let's define it properly, because it's not just vanilla with new content. Classic Plus is the idea that vanilla WoW should have kept evolving, but in its own way. Not by copying retail systems or chasing modern trends, but by expanding the world, the classes, and the possibilities within the same design language. No flying mounts, no PvP-specific stats, no borrowed power. Instead, Classic Plus means new zones with danger, mystery, and faction tension. Dungeons and raids that make sense in the world, not as isolated loot holes. Talent trees with more real choices without losing what made them unique. Systems that keep the whole world relevant, not just the latest patch zone. It's about evolution, not reinvention. Vanilla wasn't perfect. It was slow, punishing, and sometimes completely broken. But it had soul. You weren't the chosen one. You were a hungry adventurer, killing boars outside Razor Hill, hoping to survive your first trip into Wailing Caverns. The world was dangerous, and that made it feel worth learning. You remembered routes, mobs, cliffs. You got to know the terrain because it mattered. Classic Plus isn't about nostalgia. It's about preserving that danger, that mystery, and that sense of place, while solving the burnout of raid log meta and lack of long-term goals. And that brings us to something crucial. Two systems more than anything gutted WoW's world design: flying mounts and PvP-specific stats like resilience. Flying removed any need to interact with the world. No ambushes, no danger, no surprises. You hovered over all of it, untouched. What should have been exploration became map skipping. And resilience, that broke one of the most beautiful things about vanilla: gear freedom. You raided MC and used that gear in world PvP. You farmed AV rep and used that gear in dungeons. There were no artificial barriers between content. When Blizzard introduced PvP-only stats, it siloed players. Suddenly, PvP gear was useless in PvE and vice versa. It was a grind just to get to the grind. Classic Plus should never follow that path. Now let's talk talents. Vanilla's trees had identity. You saw someone's build and knew how they played. But they were also full of junk talents, dead ends, and mandatory picks. Most specs had only one truly viable build. You either copied the cookie cutter or fell behind. The Burning Crusade and even Wrath improved this. More synergy between talents, actual build variety, real support for specs like Balanced Druid, Red Paladin, and Enhancement Shaman. That's the level Classic Plus should aim for. We're not asking for pruning or autopilot specs, just functional hybrid builds, more viable capstones, buffed dead talents, and real trade-offs. Turtle WoW, and to some extent also Season of Discovery, has taken great steps here, especially in PvE, but there is still room for improvement. This right here is huge. In vanilla, the world didn't become irrelevant at 60. It opened up. You farmed elemental fires in Arati Highlands. You went to Badlands for flame sacks to make fire protection pots. You needed essences from Silithus, twilight texts, old herbs, leather ore, all from the open world. Even Molten Core stayed relevant after Nax, because Thunder Fury required Molten Core mats. Everything looped back. That's smart design. It makes the world feel interconnected. You remember zones, paths, spawn points. You see low beast leveling while you're grinding high-end mats. Later expansions killed that. New content meant new zones, new mats, new currencies. Everything else, forgotten. Classic Plus can fix that by expanding horizontally. Add high-level mob camps to old zones. Make old dungeons part of new quest chains. Create crafting loops that require older materials. Add world PvP objectives to contested territories. That's how you grow the game without killing its roots. Let's be honest, most players don't want massive system overhauls. They want more world to play in. Classic Plus should focus on new zones in places we've heard of but never seen. Kultiras, Telebim, Dragon Isles as vanilla zones. New dungeons that feel dangerous and mysterious. New battlegrounds and meaningful world PvP. New raids with mechanics that respect the vanilla pacing. Server-wide events that feel like the opening of a queue, and with real stakes. And last but not least, world relevancy. This isn't about reinventing the wheel, it's about finishing the journey vanilla started. Turtle WoW has shown us the blueprint. It proves that you can. Add new zones without breaking the game. Rework talents without dumbing things down. Introduce new quests, NPCs, and factions that fit the original world. Keep professions and consumables relevant across all content. They respected the world. They added to it instead of replacing it. Yes, Turtle isn't perfect. PvP could be better. Some specs still need polish. But it's proof that Classic Plus isn't a pipe dream. If Blizzard drops the ball again, here's what we're looking at. A retail light direction that classic players never asked for. Endless rerolls and seasonal wipes with no lasting progression. Core classes and systems being modernized into oblivion. A shallow endgame that forgets why people came back to Classic at all. And if that happens, once again, it'll be up to the private server community, the modding community, to carry World of Warcraft into a brighter future. Not out of spite, but out of love for what this game could still become. Classic Plus isn't a side project anymore. It's the future. If Blizzard is willing to build it. It's a chance to build on what made vanilla great, not erase it. There are still classes to improve, dungeons to reimagine, and stories left untold in Azeroth. The foundation is there. The passion is there. Now all we need is the will to move forward, not by repeating the past, but by evolving it. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and subscribe for more Classic Plus content. And if you want to go deeper into what the community actually wants, check out my Classic Plus survey series. I'll put a link to it in the description. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.